This is the DAR Today podcast, and I'm your host, Brooke Bullmaster Stewart. Well, welcome to the podcast, dear friends. Were you thinking like I was, that there was supposed to be a lull after the holidays? And yet we seem as busy as ever. And here comes Continental Congress at the end of June. Are you making your plans? We'll be talking quite a lot about Continental Congress in the weeks and months to come. And so you won't want to miss an episode. And so in order to do that, you're going to want to make sure to subscribe in whatever platform you like to experience this podcast, either if you like to watch it or just listen to it. And for those of you who listen to the audio-only version, we would love it if you would write a review. Thanks in advance for that. We're also about to send out our monthly email with all the links to the previous month's episodes. We'll also be sending special graphics in that email as well. Have you signed up for that email yet? We hope you will. There will be a link in the show notes below, along with a link for any of the Wright administration products that I or my guest are wearing in any of these segments of the podcast today. But speaking of guests on the podcast, today we'll have two quick interviews. One with the National Chair of the American History Committee, Janet Westbrook. I think you'll love to hear all that she has to say, and stay tuned, especially for some exciting breaking news that she gives to us in this podcast. And then we'll have a wonderful interview with a delightful student, the Patriots of the American Revolution DAR essay contest winner, Hansika Lenkala. So again, thanks for joining us today, and let's get to it. So Janet Westbrook, thank you so much for being here with us today. And of course, you are the National Chair of the American History Committee, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Brooke. It's a joy to be here with you.
Hey, would you tell us a little bit about your committee, especially for those who might not know? What is the American History Committee?
We are all about encouraging the education of American history, people, and events. And we do that through a couple of different contests. We have the American History Essay Contest, which is for grades 5 through 8, and our National Vice Chair is Helen Ditto. And we have the Patriots of the American Revolution Contest, and it's for grades 9 through 12, and Kathy Heyer is our National Vice Chair. And then we have the Women in American History, which is not a contest, but it is an opportunity for chapters and states to recognize notable women in their communities. The National Vice Chair of that is Penny Switzer.
Tell us, is there anything new in the Wright administration in your committee?
The new things we have in the Wright administration, with the contests, they are now electronically submitted, so that saves a lot of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have made it where you do not have to go through the schools to reach these students. Chapters can reach these students in their own state, whether it's their children, their grandchildren, youth groups, scouting groups, people in their neighborhood.
Oh, that's
great. So there's
great.
more opportunities to reach these other children. We also have the Stars and Stripes newsletter, which we're very excited about. We have lots of different ideas. Chapters send in their pictures and their stories about what's going on in their communities with their chapters and states. It's very exciting, and a lot of people have gotten great ideas from that. You can find the Stars and Stripes newsletter on our national webpage, American History, and several other committees' web pages as well. And you can find it on the Daughters Online community. As soon as it comes out, we post it there. And now we do have a new thing, Brooke.
Really?
A very, very new contest. Very excited about. It is the American History Video Contest. And it is open to grades 5 through 12. We have 4 categories. So we have 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th, 9th and 10th, and then 11th and 12th. We will have national winners for those contests. It's brand spanking new. We have a new national vice chair who will oversee that contest, and that is Amy Lawson. And we're very excited about that one. It will have the same question as the American History Essay Contest. And it's a 3-minute video that we're going to allow students to make because, you know, they're always on their phones. They're creating videos and watching videos all the time. So we want to match that with a little bit of American history and give them the opportunity to be creative. And we are just so excited about that.
I can't tell you how excited I am about that. That is amazing. When, especially with what we do with this podcast, we wanted to offer a video version because there are so many people who like to watch videos. And imagine these students now creating these videos, and they're going to share them. They're going to share them all over the place. Look what I made. And this is a really exciting new change. I'm so thrilled to hear this. Thank you so much for telling us about that.
Absolutely.
I'm speechless because I'm going to keep thinking about that. But tell us, is there anything that people might be surprised to learn about the American History Committee? Like you said, it's not that old, but at the same time, there might be people who say, yeah, I know it's the essay contest, but is there something that people might be surprised about?
One of the things I have found people are most surprised about is that we fund our awards for these students and these contests through Friends of American History. So for a donation of $100 or more, you can help fund these contests, as well as get the Friends of American History pin for your left side ribbon. And that's where our funds come from, completely from the generosity of our daughters.
That's wonderful. So it's all of you're saying the award money that goes to these students is funded by that. That is a great place to know that if you're giving to this fund, you know exactly where it's going. And when you want to support these students, that's great.
Exactly, because these students do come to Washington. So we pay for them to come up for a night to hear them on the stage, give a little excerpt of their winning essays, and have a chance to meet these really wonderful, creative and intelligent students from across the country. So very exciting, and that's where the money comes from to fund that.
In our own chapter, we do a very big award celebration, as many chapters do. I think pretty much every chapter does. And it's always amazing to be a judge of those essays. And can I just encourage anybody who's listening or watching that if you want to do something where you end up having a great inspiration that there's hope for the future, is read the essays that these children write, because they're amazing writers. Their amazing love for American history. And then I think that's always a favorite night of so many people, right, at Continental Congress, is to hear these students read their own essays.
Exactly. And these students get so excited, and they're like, oh, I'm going to enter next year. They get so excited, and they really do have a love of American history. So I'm excited to see also what these videos will bring in.
Me too. I can't tell you, Janet. Thank you so much for being here with us today. It was great. And thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brooke, very much.
So Hansika Lenkala, thank you so much for being here today. Of course, you are the winner of the Patriots of the American Revolution DAR High School Essay Contest. You won last year, correct, at Continental Congress. Yep. You presented, and you're a sophomore in Connecticut. Will you tell us a little bit about your essay and how you came to choose that topic?
Well, that's a great question. The way that I chose my essay was I was doing a lot of research about people from the American Revolution, and I already knew that I wanted to do either a writer or someone who fought in the war. But I started to lean more towards a writer because I've always liked dissecting pieces and sort of like analyzing, and I also knew that I wanted to do a woman because I feel like women in the American Revolution were underrepresented. So I chose the topic of Mercy Otis Warren. And I was like doing research about all these female writers, and she just had like a multiple volume book, poems. She just like expanded into different works. So that's why I chose her. She's a very fascinating woman, and I encourage everyone to learn about her.
It was so fun to see you. For those who were there in person, there at Continental Congress, and for those watching on the live feed. And I think you read part of your essay, right? How did that feel being up there on the stage with all of those people, thousands of people?
It was actually really exciting Like, I felt a little bit scared, especially like 2 events before I presented, because I remember we were like given like the order of the presentation, and I was like starting to get like some nerves. And it's very hot on the stage, so like you tend to like sweat a little bit. Like, you don't sweat an extreme amount. And the lady next to me was just amazing. She was like talking me through it, but I enjoyed like listening to the rest of the presentations, and the people there were just like interesting.
So did you have an interest in American history, or what sparked your interest?
My 8th grade teacher sparked my interest in American history. She had like a lot of fun projects, and I just like the way that she treated history. She treated it as like a discussion between people rather than a lecture. So that's what really made me love American history, because the way that she taught it and she presented it just like brought a different perspective that I didn't have before. And my interest in like just general history started by watching documentaries like with my parents. My parents were really obsessed with the Mughal Empire. It was like the Mughals ruled India for some time, and we used to watch like a lot of movies. So I got really interested in history from that.
Now, would you encourage anybody else to do this essay contest now that you've gone through it? And what would you say to others who are thinking about it?
Definitely do it, because when I started in 5th grade and I was like, how can I do this? But it really shows you what you can do with your writing. Like in grades between 5 to 8, it's basically writing a story, which I really enjoy. And in 9th to 12th grade, it's more like a research paper. So you learn a lot of different skills if you participate. And like, if you think you're not good at writing, you can definitely practice and get better.
I love that you did it. I love that you're only a sophomore, so maybe we'll see you in the next couple of years back up there on the stage at Continental Congress. Who knows? Well, thank you so much, Hansika, for being here today and taking your time to be with us in your busy school schedule. So I appreciate that. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we leave you today with this quote by Pearl Buck, an American novelist and a humanitarian, who says, "If you want to understand today, you have to search yesterday." Well, thanks for listening, and be well, dear friends. Let's celebrate the stars and stripes forever, and remember, with all of your ancestors behind you, you are the result of the love of thousands. Well, this podcast was written and produced by our incredible team of writers and editors, and we are, as always, so grateful for President General Pamela Edwards Rouse Wright and Historian General Suzanne Heskey for their constant guidance. To Janet Westbrook and to Hansika Lenkala and her father, Surrender, for being so generous with their time. The National Society Daughters of the American Revolution is a nonprofit, non-political volunteer women's service organization dedicated to promoting patriotism, preserving American history, and securing America's future through better education for children. Members are all lineal descendants of those who supported the cause of independence in the Revolutionary War. For more information, please visit dar.org. This is the DAR Today podcast.